Hey, I know I'm late, y'all, but I was actually working out a deal. So I'm gonna, of course, give it time to get going. Then I'll explain everything of the last 2 weeks. But God is good, life is good, and we're gonna do a lot of good things. Hey. Hey, but y'all excuse my music this morning. I don't know why I just had a urge to listen to Hustle and Flow. But they right, it's hard for a pimp. Nah, what's going on, Adrian? Yeah, I was running late. Hey. I'm gonna tell you, I've had one of those weeks. Well, you know what? You don't complain because God is good. You don't complain. So, of course, y'all know holidays you got to deal with the kids, and I dealt with the kids. And as always, seems like going through an airport, no matter how much vitamin C and zinc and black Adelberry, believe me, I take a lot of stuff, naturally. And my kids, they're the same way. I keep them on a lot of vitamins. I keep them on a lot of things, which is, it's cool. But, man, I tell you what, little baby sick. Other baby sick. And then of all things, of course we had to deal with the airlines. But I come home Monday, and those who know me, y'all know I love lifting weights. Weightlifting is my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I stay on the weightlifting side. What's going on, DJ? And just for, I guess you would call it shits and giggles, I said, you know what? Let me see how many times I can do 225, because it was actually a competition back home. The football team I played for back home in Canton, Ohio. What's going on, Ryan? The Canton McKinley Bulldogs. We have the oldest and biggest rivalry of any high school. Y'all can check it out. It's the only high school a rivalry game that you can actually bet on in Vegas. It's now, I think it's 120 plus years old. I know it's 120 plus years old because I was in the 100th game, and that was over 20 years ago. But anyway, us old guys who can't play for the high school anymore. What's going on, Alan Dennis? We have competitions like bench press competitions. So unfortunately, with me living in Texas, I could not, Texas or Florida, whichever one, I could not look at it. I mean, I could not make it. So I went in there Monday night, and I put on 225 pounds on the bench press. And boy, oh boy, I did, which was what was my second highest of all time. I tied my second highest of all time. I did 50 clean reps. So I was proud of myself, y'all. I did 50 good clean reps with 225. I was patting myself on the back. I said, shit, I'm a bad mother, shut your mouth. So I don't know where the ingenious decision came from, but I said after the workout, I'm gonna go get me a chicken wrap from Walmart. Oh man, and I know it was this because I didn't eat anything else, because I do all this fasting. I missed other meals. I was just on protein shakes. So I had the chicken wrap, and I had a Payday candy bar. And I just got the candy bar because I knew that I was very, 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 I was in low on calories. So with that being said, 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, man, my life was over. My life was over. What's going on, CC? I don't know if any of y'all had food poisoning or anything like that, but food poisoning is a terrible thing. I was up from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock just basically puking my life away. I never realized that you could have so much fluid in your stomach, but it was amazing because that night I weighed in slightly over 225 pounds. By the next morning, after I was done dying, I weighed 213. So that, you know, I was gonna come on Monday, Tuesday morning, just to kick it. That ended that shit. So y'all make sure y'all hit like, and if y'all ain't subscribed to the page by now, please subscribe. I appreciate all of y'all who made small donations to the page. After me telling y'all, oh yeah, I take apple cider every day. I take a combination of apple cider, I cut up fresh ginger root, some local honey, and green tea. Is that it? Oh, and a lemon. I do a fresh lemon and I boil it all together, and that's my tea every day. I stay with apple cider. Yep. CCZ, we on the same page. I had already did my ginger root. I'm actually experimenting with growing ginger root, you know. But yeah, I do that every single morning. That's my tea every single morning. Every now and then, if I want a little extra caffeine, I'll throw some black tea in there. If I'm feeling a little sluggish because of the fasting or whatever. But yeah, actually, that was one of the reasons why I was late is I'm working out a deal. Y'all see I always park in this parking lot because of the service down there in the valley. I'm working out a thing with the hotel. I won't say the name of the hotel till they give me the deal. But I'll probably be doing the morning show from the hotel out there. They're going to give me their conference room for a couple hours every Friday morning. And, you know, it could be a good thing. I'll have a great internet service where, and I can do the proper lighting and I can do all the other stuff, and I'll give them some shout outs, and they're not even charging me but a small fee, not what they would usually charge me. But I want to do the show right. Amongst other things that I've been doing for this show personally is I've been learning how to work some of this computer stuff, you know, and you know, getting the software. I've actually got a new, I won't be strictly doing it off of the camera. I've got a YouTube camera now. I've got the microphones. Now I'm just working on how to work all of this shit properly to make the videos better. And y'all will see little graphic stuff going up in there, logos and all this stuff, probably a green screen, some fly shit. But I always looked at my page and I was always like, damn, my page is just so plain. I'll be, you know, in a dark car, or you know, some crack house or some shit, and just pop up, yo. But anyway, you know, working on it, man. So any of y'all donations help, because that's all I do is I put the donations towards more so trying to improve the show, because some of this stuff is expensive, you know. I think my microphone was like $150. It's a cool microphone. It ain't gold or nothing. I wanted a gold microphone like James Brown, but that was a little too expensive for my taste. But you know, it's all good. We doing some educating. A lot of y'all have asked about the podcast. The reason why the podcast went into total stall mode for the moment was not twofold. Actually, because I am a father, and I was dealing with a paternity case, so still sort of dealing with it, but it's working out to the best now. So, you know, those things take time and those things take money. And also, I wanted to do a podcast right, because I was talking all this podcast stuff, and man, one day I tuned into this dude's podcast. I won't say who it was, but it was the worst freaking podcast that I'd ever seen in my whole entire life. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to have that podcast. I don't want to be the dude who y'all click into my podcast and click out because the quality is bad. I know that we can carry it. What's going on, John Smith? I know we can carry it on the entertainment value, but gee whiz. I mean, gee whiz. That shit was horrible. And I can almost watch anything, you know? So it is what it is. RPM, what's going on? So, today's show, you know I like to bullshit the first 10 minutes. Today's show, one of the first things that we're really going to get into, right? And it's twofold. This show's probably going to get interesting. But the first hour, we're going to talk about Bully Max, products that I've used in the past, like Dine, Ultra 24, so many different things. You know what I mean? It's so many different things. What's going on, man? Rich, I tried to call you like, I think, what was that, like 2 weeks ago or some shit. I've been running like crazy. I got to get with you though, because we got some things brewing. Plus, I think I want to freeze the boy too. So, yeah, let me see. I think I'll be free most of today. I'm gonna try to get to some good places and give you a call. But you know, all these supplements, and you know, and in the supplement world for the American Bully, it don't matter what kind of dog you got, American Bully, Rottweiler, Dogo. I've actually seen this conversation. It actually started with a Dogo, and I'll go to that in a minute. But you know, one of our family members over here has taken a certain interest to Dogos, so now I'm communicating with more of my friends in Serbia and Croatia and Spain and all these different places to actually I'm communicating, let me get it right, with a new friend in Argentina. That's where I think this boy will be coming from. But anyway, the dog, you know what I mean, the supplement game is something that it's not new by any means. People who deal with horses, people who deal with athletic animals of any sorts, you know what I mean, they can tell you that it's always for years it's been some supplementation, little things that you could give your hunting dogs, little things that you could give your race horses, little things that you could give your working animals of any sorts, you know, I'm saying, to give them an edge, as far as not necessarily an edge like steroids, but you know, they're burning more calories. Red Cell has been one of the favorites. If you go to like Tractor Supply, hell, even Walmart is doing it now, you'll see things like horse weight accelerator. You'll see many different things that you can use to accelerate the you know what I'm saying, the weight, excuse me, and that's more so what it is. Now you're really giving them a ton of fat, because if you notice in a lot of these products, the main thing that they're pushing in these products is a lot of fat. Reason being is that fat is oftentimes used for energy. Fat and calories is used for energy, and these are the purposes of these supplements. So when you you know what I mean, if you have a sick dog, right? Beautiful. If you have a pregnant dog that is nursing, beautiful. Up her calories. It's a great way to up her calories with simple things like Dine. I don't too much like to use Red Cell. I've heard a lot of different reactions from Red Cell. Some people still use it. I've had no personal reactions from it, but you know, if my bitch, especially if she's got one of them, let's say 6 or more puppy litters, and these puppies are at her ass and tearing her up, yes. And I'm sorry, y'all, I forgot to put the headphones in. Hopefully it works. Okay. It says I'm connected, so if anything happens where y'all don't hear me, y'all just let me know. But for everybody who, you might not even be a novice, so I'm not going to disrespect you and say you're a novice, but be smart. And this is why I'll tell you, and this is why this is a good conversation, and this is something that you guys need to really listen to. And I'll tell you this for the sake of your dogs. Now, these supplements should be used according to activity. These supplements should be used according to you know, your dog's condition, um, your dog's circumstances. You know what I mean? Hey Tone, I'm sorry, man. I got to give you a call today. I'm practicing. I'm just pausing. I see my friends popping up. I'm practicing. I have a jiu-jitsu tournament coming up in February. I'm trying to get it. You know, my old ass trying to get into things to keep me active and keep my mind right, stay on a routine type of deal. So yeah, we sometimes we do these 2 and 3 hour classes or whatever. And yeah, it went a little bit longer, and I was a little bit tired after the food poisoning. So you know, it is what it is. Hey, Carter, don't tell them too much. They don't need to know all that. His sister, your boy's sister, is over here doing great, man. Same thing, just an ox. That's the one I'm actually gonna breed the pretty boy. But now I'm gonna tell you all this, and those who haven't heard me speak before, you're gonna hear me say some things that are redundant. But what was actually the point that was just actually made by my friend over there at Carter's Bullies is that genetics should decide your dog size, you know. And I'm gonna retrack a little bit so I can really get into that part of it because that's the best part of this discussion. But I'll tell you what, you know, if you have a bitch, and this is a good time to use some of those supplements. She's pregnant, and yeah, and we've all seen it. You know, you can deworm the girl, you can keep her well fed with some kibble or whatever, but puppies will suck the life out of her. Some of the things that I do is some of the things that y'all see these dudes promoting to feed the puppies, which they shouldn't. But I will give them a little bit of Dine. I will give them a little bit of the Ultra 24, the milk replacer. I'll put the milk replacer in their food. You know, sometimes people even do that and put a little goat milk and make it like a cereal and let the dog eat it down or whatever. Those extra calories are good because the female's body is under so much duress as far as producing for the puppies that are nonstop eaters. You know, I've had litters of my biggest litter ever was 14 puppies. You know, man, by the end of that litter, they had my female, even with me giving her supplementations and giving her a little hamburger here and there and some rice and this and that and the other. The bitch came back and she looked like Skeletor. I felt horrible, but she snapped right back. As soon as I got the puppies off of her, I kept her on that high calorie diet like that, and she gained her weight back beautifully. Now, when you have a whelping puppy, I mean, a mother that's whelping puppies, that's cool, man. Go ahead, give her a little extra. And sometimes you can just do it without supplements. You can add in, like I say, hamburger, rice, sweet potatoes, things of that nature to give her a little extra there. Chicken, of course. I definitely do not recommend pork because of the high worm content. But those are things that you can do for your female. Now, say for instance, you have puppies that are coming off of some kind of issue with the stomach. You know what I mean? What's going on, Brian? Puppies that are coming off of some kind of issue with the stomach, whether you got one recovering from parvo or whether you know some a super bad case of worms or parasites, and the dog has shriveled up some, and you want to get that weight back on them. A little bit of Dine in their food. I know a friend of mine. He makes a little mix to help his recovering parvo puppies, where he oftentimes will take, say, like a can of Blue Buffalo soft food or hamburger, for that matter, and what he'll do is he'll take a little bit of the Ultra 24 or whatever milk replacer, but he likes the Ultra 24. I do too. And mix that into the canned food, a little bit of Dine, whip it all up together. Just to, you know, it's nothing but a mix. It looks a lot like the regular canned food. It doesn't change it much, just makes it whiter. And those puppies tend to, you know, a parvo puppy, they definitely want soft food because you know their stomachs are messed up, so they a lot of times they're not as eager to eat the kibble, but they'll smash that down. For one, the moisture from the canned food helps. The higher calorie count, the sodium count of helping them keep the water in their body, it helps because a lot of the canned foods have higher sodium counts. The extra fat, the extra everything from there, it helps. These are situations where you can use supplements to your advantage. Like I say, there are supplements like the weight accelerator that they make for horses and cows that, if you look at it, is pretty much just a ton of fat. You got some protein to it. Those can also help, but you need them, you know, in moderation. You know, it's for a horse, you know. So, like I've rescued dogs before. That always makes me sad, but I rescued dogs before who were in the worst condition ever. You know, and that was one of the things I would do to them is I would get chicken noodle soup, cans of chicken noodle soup, and I would mix that stuff in with it, nice and warm, and get a lot of a lot of extra calories into the soup. And dogs, for whatever reason, dogs love chicken broth. Well, most dogs, and they would go ahead and destroy the soup. Like you say, you had the sodium and different stuff like that. And it's always good to remember that when you have a dog that is emaciated, um, I tell you what, I'm gonna talk to you about that, Stevens Industrial. I've never used Bully Max, by the way, but when you add those things in to an emaciated dog, right? Do it slowly. The reason being is because when a dog is emaciated, their system is not the same. They don't process food the same. You can actually give them too much and create a worse situation in their stomachs than what they already have. You can create tearing, you can create bloat, which also, turns into tearing. They can have many gas issues and different things like that because the stomach and the body doesn't isn't normal. So you want to when you're feeding an emaciated dog, especially, you want to keep them to where their fluids are a key. And I'm going to tell you that over and over again. If you have a sick dog, if you have an emaciated dog, I know it looks ugly when the weight goes off of them. Trust me, I know. But a lot of the weight being off of that dog has to do with fluids in their system. The first thing that we want to do, we get scared, we equate weight to food. You will find out that that's why chicken broth, beef broth, things that have salt in them. Of course, you want your Pedialytes and different things like that with the electrolytes. Um, what is it? Coconut. I always want to call it Hawaiian water, but coconut water. Coconut water is great too, but you want things with sodium and electrolytes in them. That's why the chicken broth is so good. Now, the thing of it is that you want to bring the fluid level back up. What's going on, Danny boy? You want to bring the fluid level back up to where it needs to be more so than anything. The supplements will come in later because yes, the dog is emaciated, but I promise y'all this, y'all know the rule. A person can live a long time without food. What do they say? Up to 30 days without food. You cannot live very long without water. So it's the same thing for an animal. You get the fluids back in their system, it helps the organ functions start going, and they can actually process the nutrition from the food. If you're just giving them food and they're still dehydrated, or you're not making sure that the hydration is totally where it needs to be, the food doesn't matter. The food actually becomes a problem because, not to be, well, we're talking medical. Uh, it's just like you. Why do they tell you to drink so much water? You know what I mean? Keep your system flushed out, keep you going. If you're dehydrated, you won't poop. You know what I mean? If you're dehydrated, you'll have all the trouble in the world, pushing out one little turd because you don't have the proper fluids for your intestines and everything to push that stuff through and to cleanse your system out. This is the same thing with your dogs. Hydration is going to be everything. Y'all remember that more than anything. Hydration is going to be everything. Fresh water daily is a very, very good thing. If you have dogs outside, I do this, and it's not a medical thing, but I do this. A lot of old dog men have been doing it for years. I put a cap of bleach in the water, you know what I mean, just to keep the outside parasites from messing with their water. But the cap doesn't bother them. I've also do vinegar, so I'm gonna do one or the other, apple cider vinegar or whatever. But I keep their water fresh. I keep that little thing in there, which clean the system a little bit more. Now, those are all situations, distress situations, where all of those supplements can be a benefit. If you have a weight pull dog or a performance dog or a hunting dog, which is still a performance dog, a working dog. If you have these type of dogs that are doing those type of things, extra calories can be a great, great thing. You need it. It's just like me. You know what I mean? I work out. I work out sometimes 3 times in a day. I'll do morning cardio. I'll go to jujitsu in the afternoon. I'll go lift weights at night. So in those days, I cannot, believe it or not, in some of those days, I'm just putting down empty calories because I'm looking at my calorie count and I'm not close to 4,500. And I know I need at least 4,500 calories if I've done this much in a day to maintain. Now, you know, if I was to take my shirt off, you would see that I don't carry very much body fat. Right now, I'm about 9% body fat, but I need those. It's the same thing with an animal. Now, on a day where I'm very sedentary and I'm not doing very much, I'll almost fast the whole day and eat, have 2 or 3 protein shakes, and I'll do, you know, one meal. You can do that. That's the same thing that you should do with your dogs. If it's a day that you're working your dog out, if it's a weight pool day, or if it's a protection work day, or whatever the day the dog is working, up the calories. You know what I mean? I ain't taking no shirts off, man. Not unless Rihanna. If y'all see Rihanna clicking here, y'all let me know. Because I'm, hey, I'm gonna put it all out there. I'm gonna put it. I'm shooting a whole shot. But but those are times now, and I hope this doesn't start World War II. Or well, hold on, World War III. They've already fought too. But this is the thing. What happened? I was on like I said, the Dogo page. I'm pretty sure that our family will be having one sometime in the next, definitely within the next 6 months. It might be within the next month or so if we find the right one. But okay, a guy. If anybody knows anything about the Dogo, it's not supposed to be built like a bully. It is a muscular dog, you know, but it's not supposed to be overdone. It's muscular, you know what I mean, but it's still athletic body. So the guy puts up a dogo that was a year old, and he looked like an American bulldog, basically. And so, you know, these are a lot of educated breeders from around the world. They know what their dogs are supposed to look like, and unlike the bully community, they don't take shit. So they start laughing at the dog. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing to that dog, man? You know, what are you feeding that dog? Why is he so fat?" And you know, a lot of people kept putting in the comments, you know, American bulldog, American bulldog. So he brought up the product of Bully Max. Of course, I know what Bully Max is, but in the Dogo world, it's not a big thing, of course. Well, it was amazing to see the reaction from around the world as people studied Bully Max. They studied the purpose of Bully Max. They studied the ingredients of Bully Max. They studied this product. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad, but in their community, especially, and remember, they do have a different type of dog, but they found this to be the most asinine supplement of all time. And the reason being, and yes, foods can be supplements too. So we can address that. Some foods are so rich in different things that they can be supplements too. The reason being is because, you know, right on the bag, I think it promotes like an extra 500 plus calories or something like that. And everybody asks the question, why? And it was a very reasonable question that I've asked many a times. Whether it's Bully Max, which Bully Max is the most promoted supplement in our community, or you know any of the supplements I told you that you can pick up at your feed stores. You know, I'm actually starting a feed store, so we'll be carrying them. But this was the thing. It's twofold. First of all, what we just went through. Why would your dog need these products? You know what I mean? Um, that's I accidentally hit something. But the first and foremost thing would be, why would your dog need these products? You know, does it have a purpose? Now, in our community, the number one reason why people want these products is they want their dog to be bigger. I want my dog to be bullier. What are you doing to support this? And this is why I say this, because if you want to do this for a show thing, I will post a picture of one of Denzel's sons that is a very good championship weight pool dog, and he's very, very muscular. Of course, he has extra muscle because he does weight pool. His owner, who comes on here sometimes, Rico, you know, he's very experienced with all dogs, you know, from pit bull to bullies. He understands weight pool very well. Rico knows his shit. So he keeps him fine condition, and he knows when he needs to supplement him and when he doesn't. So the dog looks good. The dog has, you know, the ripples of the muscle and has everything of that nature. That's for performance. That's the result of performance. In the bully world, we have used it just for aesthetics, just for looks. And a lot of these dogs don't exercise. So we have to think in terms of people. If we are sitting around and taking protein shakes with, peanut butter, bananas, and adding calories, but we're not going to work out today. Although your peanut butter, banana, strawberry, 75-gram protein shake sounds healthy, it's really not that fucking healthy for you if you're not going to do anything with it. Those supplements are usually there for bodybuilders and performance athletes who need more. So when you're doing this to your dog, you're actually hurting your dog in a lot of ways because our metabolisms ramp up with activity. So when we put all these things into our bodies, it is an extra stress if your metabolism cannot burn it. It starts to become fat storage. And some of these fat storages, are can be very, very detrimental because you can have a lot of subcutaneous fat. You can have a lot of I forget the term for it, but you can have a lot of fat that builds up around the organs of your dog, and this causes a lot of issues. This is one of the reasons why you see a lot of these bullies, right? And they're just sitting there, and for whatever reason, the dog just can't breathe. The dog is just there, and that sound. And we've seen it as puppies, right? We've seen this happen as puppies, and you're like, okay, the puppy doesn't look fat. That's a dog that just has a natural breathing problem. But if you build fat, fat goes everywhere, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. You know what I mean? I have plenty of clients that need to lose weight. That's why they call me. And this is just a fact of life. If you are a person who are overweight, you will notice that the more overweight you get, the harder it is to breathe. You know, it's just that simple. The more overweight you get, the more fat you build in your system, the harder it is to breathe. It is not, it's not funny, especially in this country where we lose so many people to obesity. But the fat builds up actually in your airways get fat. It's fat inside the chest. Of course, there's fat inside the stomach. You're literally crushing yourself from the inside in a lot of ways. This is what we do to the dogs. And it's driving me crazy because I'm looking for my hand cream. I'm like a serial hand washer, and my hands are so dry right now. I feel like they're gonna break. But I just thought I'd share that with y'all. But this is what you see with a lot of the dogs, right? You see that these are issues. So sometimes we are complaining about things, and we're like, why did that dog die so young? He was huge. Why did he die so young? A lot of these things we are doing to these dogs, and we have to think logically. Um, I've heard crazy things. I've heard one of the leading ABKC handlers, and I won't say her name publicly, but I heard her even talk about fixing bowls of macaroni and cheese and mixing it into her dog's food for calories just to beef the dog up. I've heard of people actually, and this is just disgusting. People actually just putting flat out lard in their dog's food and mixing it daily. I mean, who would eat lard? I mean, okay, if you cooking in lard and everything, but you just gonna get a dog lard, and even those who cook in lard, they know they ain't supposed to do that all the time. You know what I mean? But they are giving the dogs lard, just flat out lard. Okay, you a fat dog, let's see what's popping. You know, these are things that are gonna kill the animal over and over again. And if any of y'all are sending messages for whatever reason, so I'm not ignoring you guys. For whatever reason, my screen has stopped popping up the messages. It does that from time to time. Uh, but with those things being said, I'll carry on. Hopefully, it fixes itself. But with those things being said, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's an absolutely ridiculous thing, and you're killing your dog. This is one of the reasons why y'all are at shows, and so many people have called me at the from these shows and like, damn man, I seen such and such dog, and he was just pulling the dog around. The dog just was looking like he was about to die. And y'all see it a lot of times where the dog has that bluish look around the mouth and everything like that. Fat affects the whole cardiovascular system. It affects the ability to I guess, for lack of a better term, if I make up a word, it is what it is, but oxygenate, to put the oxygen in the system. It affects that. So you see these dogs that are having a horrible time breathing, and you're wondering why this dog is having a horrible time breathing. Well, the truth of the matter is that it's starving for oxygen, and a lot of it has to do with the excessive amount of fat you know and what's even more alarming in some instances that they're finding out is with these super high fat diets, some animals, just like some people, will look more muscular and look good on the outside, but on the inside is where they're storing the fat at. So it's still very, very fatty around the organs. It's still very, very, fatty in all the wrong places, but they look a lot better on the outside. So they don't look like they're really super obese on the outside, but they're dying on the inside. And not to mention, animals are just like us. They have arteries, they have all these things. These supplements, with the super high cholesterol levels, the super high calorie levels, the super high fat levels, the super high saturated fat levels, all of these things are promoting the destruction of the heart. It's promoting the destruction of the cardiovascular system. It is promoting the destruction of the overall health of the animal. And like I say, some people are going to do whatever you always use in moderation, but my thing is, if you're not working your dog out to need these type of calories, what is the point of giving it to him? If your dog is in good shape, right? If your dog is being fed well, if your dog is not doing anything super strenuous besides its usual walk and everything like that, why would you give these supplements? Because this is the next part of this discussion. Look, and I always use myself as an example. Genetically, I am an enhancement of my father, who was an enhancement of his grandfather. We all look alike. We all gradually grew 2 more inches. My arms and my father's arms tended to grow an inch more. But I say this to say that is that genetics are a beast. My grandfather, even at right around 70 years old, my grandfather had 17-inch arms. Now keep in mind, my grandfather was not a tall man at 5'7", but he had 17-inch arms. He was one of them old dudes that, y'all know the old man shirts, the cool little old man polos. He would put on his old man polo and he'd be damn near busting the seams out of them shirts, on his arms. And even at 70 years old, he would go down in the basement, crank out some curls. Grandpa was that guy. Now my dad, who's now 60, don't tell him I told y'all, he's still claiming that he's 50. I don't know how the hell that works when I'm over 40. But anyway, um, he ended up being a couple inches taller at 5'9". And he's always been around 200 pounds. His arms, 18 and a half inches. Uh, and it's just like, he's the same way as grandpa. He just don't wear the old man polo shirts. He's got the big arms. He's got the big arms, whatever. Then come along me, his son. And, I'm a little over 5'11", a lot more weight than them. I actually outweigh my dad by about 30 pounds. Well, normally about 30 pounds. And my arms are 20 inches, 20 and a half inches. But it's genetics. It's not something, of course, we lift weights and stuff, but the arms are just going to grow. Well, when you're buying a dog, it's the same thing. Now, genetics come into play a huge part, and this is where this stuff messes the game up. And I've talked about it, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. But I've talked about it with the steroid issues and the different issues. One of the worst things about the American bully community is you don't know what you're buying. Because if you come to get a dog from me and I've given him 1,000,000 pounds of Bully Max, I'm giving him a half a dozen raw eggs a day, I'm giving him this and that and the other to make him bigger and bigger and bigger. Now you come and you be like, damn, dog, that stud is crazy. Look how big he is. Look, he's huge. This, that, and the other. Guess what? I can't guarantee you that his puppies are going to look like that unless I'm going to send, you know what I'm saying, a lifetime supply of eggs, you know what I'm saying, a lifetime supply of Bully Max, a lifetime supply of all the other shit that I'm using on him. So basically, you're buying an illusion. You know, it's like, you know, when y'all seen I put up a couple videos of Mandela. When I tell y'all, Mandela takes none of that shit. Mandela has always been big, you know? Always been big. He's always been big. He's always been thick. You can see in the pictures his bone is gigantic. You know, the dog. If I get lazy with Mandela, that's when he gets up to about 108. I don't like that. I've told people he will get up to 108. It's not his best weight. I think his best weight is closer to 100 pounds. But even when I like try to sort of cut his weight down, and I do that when it's very hot. I try to cut all the dog's weight down. Mandela has never been under 95 pounds, not in his adult life. That's the dog you're getting. That bone you're getting is real. Denzel, when he was in his prime, you know, ah man, my guy, yeah, old Denzel, he ain't doing too well right now, y'all. But when he was in his prime, you know, 78 pounds on a 14 and a half inch frame, but it was all thick, dense muscle. He didn't take supplements. He would get chicken sometimes, you know what I mean? But most of the time, Denzel spent most of his life on Diamond's puppy food. He would eat the Diamond's puppy food. He would get the chicken. Now he eats soft food. But it was what it was. If he showed up to the party, he showed up to the party as himself. That's why if you look at Denzel's productions, they look like him. They carry his bone. They carry his muscle. They carry his look because that shit is natural. You know what I mean? Remy was the same way. Remy never got a bunch of supplements and shit. I know this personally. You know, me and Fave have conversations. Fave didn't believe in all that kind of shit. You know, Remy was what Remy was. That's why Remy's kids look like Remy. You know, if you bred them to more stout bitches that had size and could bring something to the table, you know, like the Pokemon breeding where the genetics had bigger size, it could enhance because you knew exactly what you were breeding. This was not a fluffed up dog. What you saw is what you get. He didn't need it wasn't even a Bully Max back then, but he didn't need a Bully Max. He didn't need anything special. Remy was one of those dogs that gave you what he gave you. If you talk about the old notorious Juan Gotti, y'all see the pictures with him with his big ass ripped up chest, and that was natural. Cairo, natural. Paco, natural. These were all natural dogs that not only did not, and no one was playing with their genetics and they weren't a bunch of mixed bulldogs, but at the same time, these dogs didn't use supplements. So as a stud, if I wanted to go use Remy, guess what I knew? I knew I was getting Remy. I knew what to expect from that dog. If I went to use Paco, which I did before, I knew what I was getting. I knew what the genetics behind the dog was. I knew what it was. It allowed me as a breeder to formulate my plan on what I would be getting. I knew I could get, you know, I knew I was looking at a 16-inch dog that carried 85 pounds effortlessly without any supplementation or anything, just good food and good eating. And he was allowed to run all day. So he was conditioned and burning those calories at the same time. I knew what I was getting out of Paco. You know, Little Row. Little Row was a thinner, muscular dog, very very wide chest, big blocky head. But I had Little Row at the house for like I think 8 months, so I knew what Row was naturally. You know, I would feed Row dog food. I would feed Row. I actually upped his diet because they've never really fed raw, so I gave him chicken, basically like a chicken at night, kibble in the morning so we could put weight on him. The highest weight that Roe ever got to was like 73, 74 pounds. It was shredded. It was shredded. Absolutely shredded. You know, absolutely shredded. Shredded, man. But you knew what you got. That's why when you bred Little Roe, you knew what you were getting. The genetics was right there. He was going to give you Little Roe to this day was a dog that had the hardest muscle I ever seen. I never seen a dog that had muscle like this. I tried to give him, I think it was a B12 injection. This dude flexed his shit because he felt the little prick. He flexed this shit, and I'm telling you, I was literally like trying to force the needle to go. It wouldn't go. It wouldn't go. I had to I had to sort of sneak attack it. Because if he flexed, that motherfucking needle was not going in. But I was working him hard. That's when I had him pulling chains and shit. So I was trying to give him B12 injections to keep his performance high. Man, that dog was off the charts. But you knew what you were getting. It wasn't any crazy supplementation. I didn't go over the top with calories. I think by the time I had little Ro at the house, I had switched to Ukanuba. Yeah, I was feeding Ukanuba. I went from diamonds early, went through a phase of Ukanuba, then I came back to diamonds when they bought Ukanuba and changed the thing. And then now I'm on Victor for the last few years, and I like that. But these dogs, the reason why their productions were so consistent is because you knew exactly. Once again, I'll tell y'all, for whatever reason, this damn thing is not putting up y'all messages or whatever. So, uh, let me see. Okay. So I'm gonna see if it does it. It does it. Whatever. Yeah, hopefully it'll start doing it. I push the button to say let them join. I don't know what the hell. But anyway, all of these dogs gave you that. All of the studs throughout the history of the American bully world. The ones who I know for a fact it wasn't a bunch of fluffage. They were what they were. They produced the type of dogs that you would expect them to produce. Now people wonder why some of these like the $1 million studs and the $1 billion studs and all of these studs don't produce the way that one would think they would produce. And you have people, and I'm not hating on anybody's money, I'm just giving you facts. You have people who are paying $10,000 and $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, to use these studs, buy puppies off of these studs and different things, but you never really see the results. You hear about the breedings, but you never see like these great dogs come out of this thing. The reason being is because the genetics are a lie. If these people are supplementing their dogs like that, you don't know what the dog looks like. That's like the girl who show up with the booty implants. You know what I mean? That ain't real. You know, her genetics don't say big booty. Her genetics say go get what they call him, Dr. Miami. Her genetics say you got to go see Dr. Miami, baby. And that's what a lot of y'all gonna have to go see Dr. Miami because y'all getting y'all asses busted by buying these crazy ass dogs. But the truth of the matter is that I wish I could see y'all comments. I'll tell you the truth. But the truth of the matter is that these dogs are not what they're supposed to be. Um, And it is a very good question if you are buying a dog to ask these breeders, do they use these products? Some of the breeders brag about it. I got Bully Max. I'm stacking my dog up with Bully Max. I'm stacking my dog up with this. I'm stacking my dog up with that. And I understand that it's a culture in the American bully world. That's why I say I'm not trying to tell you that if somebody says, "Hey, I use Bully Max," they're a shit breeder or they're a bad breeder of any sorts. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not taking shots at those breeders because this is the culture, but I'm giving you the facts. And the facts behind this thing is that that's not the dog that you're getting. If a person has to do all this extra shit to the dog, that's not the dog that you're getting. Those are not the genetics that you're playing with. Now you can, I found out with supplements that you can take a dog that looks good and you can make him look great. And and I guess that's the dilemma. Aren't you supposed to bring your dog in the ring looking the best that he can look? And I would say yes, but at the same time, when we go back to the science of making great dogs, one would have to ask the question that if we're here to make great dogs, then aren't we supposed to be truthful about the genetics and what we're using? You know. Now, in this process, I'll tell y'all this is that, and it's going to transform into this. And this is one of the things where I know some people are going to say I'm hating. I can't even see you saying I'm hating, so it don't matter. But I'm going to look on my other phone and see maybe if it pulls up that I can see messages over there. But anyway, I tell you the thing of it is this, and it is very, very plain and simple for me, is that it's one of the reasons why the American bully community has fallen behind so much because we don't breed genetics. We breed hype, and we mess with the overall look, and we live in a fantasy world. Whereas when I was over at the Dogo community and I was watching how they do their thing, it was interesting because these guys were all about genetics. Look at that dog's this, look at that dog's that. They were breaking the dogs down strictly based off of what the dog looked like, what the dog's genetics were. Whereas in our world, we sort of create what we want. And now we live in a community, in the American bully community, is to actually where the dogs themselves, right? We see a ton of breedings, but let's be realistic. How many great dogs have y'all seen? How many dogs have y'all seen that are way, way off the charts? And it's an incredible thing. We have not seen a ton of dogs that are off the charts as far as the dogs go, and it's pretty pathetic, honestly, because the real reason why we're not seeing these great dogs anymore is just quite simply because people are not making great dogs, and we're breeding a bunch of lies. You know, we could talk about the genetic part of it and how that was an issue. I'm gonna cut the truck on, man, get some air. But we can talk about the genetic part and how that's a big issue with the genetics and everything like that. But also the hype of those dogs, it makes everything very, very interesting. And y'all have heard me say this before, and I'm not going to call every dog's name out, but at the same time, out of all these great studs that y'all have seen, how many great dogs have you seen? When you have certain dogs that brag about thousands and thousands of offspring, why is it that you only see 3 or 4 of those dogs? The reason being is because their genetics is producing what they really are, and the help of the supplements, the luck of the draw that they would look like a pretty solid dog in the first place. You add all these things up, you add good cameramen up, and you start to, the pictures of the dogs make these dogs look incredible, and they become great studs. But at the end of the day, their greatness is only about what they're selling and not about what they're producing. If we lived in a community where people weren't like doing so much fluffage with their dog and so many camera tricks with their dog, and when I say fluffage, I mean, the supplements, but we'll take it a step further and we'll talk about the steroid abuse. If people weren't doing that, and at the level that they're breeding at right now, it would be amazing. And once again, I apologize here. I don't know why this stupid thing is not showing people's messages, but it really, really, it really, really, it gets on my nerves to the point that I wish, you know, big time, that we had the ability to see all of these dogs' genetics for what they were, and people weren't cheating the game so much. Because if people weren't cheating the game so much, you know what I mean, we could make a better breed all the way together, and that's what I was doing. I was trying to call myself figuring out why the messages wasn't coming up, but whatever. But now this is where shit gets heavy at, is because, like I told y'all, and I'll name some dogs. Fuck it, y'all know me. But like Mr. Beans, for instance, right? Mr. Beans, world class dog, supposedly. Incredible muscle. I told y'all where the muscle came from. Y'all can believe me if you would want to, believe me if you don't. You know, and this is going to transition into the next thing. But with Mr. Beans being who Mr. Beans is, right? Why isn't there a lot of dogs that look like Mr. Beans? One thing for certain is Mr. Beans was used a lot, supposedly. You know what I mean? Why isn't there a lot of dogs that look like Mr. Beans? It's the supplementation. Rocco is another one. Rocco, his owner brags all day, every day, all day long about how many straws he was sending out, how many breedings he was sending out, how many this, how many that, how many this. If y'all go to my page, Hall of Fame Bullies, and I use myself because I don't like to bring everybody else into it, so it's not me bragging on myself. But if you look at Denzel, right, I can show you. Denzel only had 500 kids, right there, 500 kids in his career. And that's a lot. But in his 500 kids, I can reel y'all off 200 where you can look at them and it's really, the other ones, I just don't have a lot of pictures of them. But I can reel y'all off 200 kids that look like him, that have a lot of structure like him, that has the size like him, that you can be like, oh yeah, that's a Denzel kid. Why can't they do that? Why can't they show you a bunch of kids that look like them? Why is it oftentimes that their kids look like another dog? Why is it that and that could be twofold. It could be another dog's dog, or it could be quite simply that this is what that dog really looks like without all this supplementation. You know, now y'all know I've talked about muscle tone a lot, and this gets interesting. I post it. I'm not savvy. That's why I told y'all. By the way, y'all click like, man. Click like on this post. It helps drive the post. So if y'all on there, man, click like a little bit. Show the page some love. If y'all want to donate, and I appreciate you guys who do donate to the page. Like I told you, I'm buying software. I'm trying to make the page a little bit better. I'm actually for y'all who missed the early part of the show, you know what I'm saying? I thank the homie Christopher Braden for sending one in this morning. And if I miss it, if I didn't say your name, I just clicked to the top one because I wanted to give a shout out for the people who send donations in and everything. But I'm working on a deal with the hotel to actually go in there and set up, because my, just plain and simple, we can't get reception at the house. Set up and do the show from here and try to make the show a lot better, and working on things that allow me to click people in and different shit like that. So it's a process. I'm not great at this shit, but I'm trying. But anyway, you know um, genetics, health, all this stuff that I've given y'all, talking about the supplementation and why you should be careful. I didn't mention, but a lot of these supplements you have to be careful, because the one thing about animal supplements is that they are really not regulated by the FDA at all. A lot of people supplements aren't regulated by the FDA at all. So you'll find different things in there. But one thing that they have, through testing, that they have had in common a lot of times, is that they are finding them to be very, very hard on the liver and the kidneys. So if you care about your animals, it's something to take into consideration, that some of these things that they're putting into your dogs, supplements and different things of that nature, are not the best for your dogs. Um, for those who do know, I do. Well, I no longer own gyms, but I did own gyms, and I looked into being a part of the supplement world as a second career, and it didn't. Well, I can't say it didn't turn out, because we still looking into it. But one thing I did find out is that it's a lot of issues with supplements and the lack of regulation. Basically, put it like this: a lot of the main supplements are made by the same companies, right? Now, you buy these things in bulk, you talk to these packaging companies, and you can have your own packaging set up the way you want it to make it look very, very professional. I'm talking about, the clear security wrap around the top and all that. You put those on, and all you have to do is heat it, and it melts down, and it looks just like the factory. A lot of people are making this stuff at home at their kitchen table. They're promoting it. You've got special packaging. All of this is a press. They put the stuff in there. You know what I mean? Now it look like it's sealed. The label has their dogs on it. They have whatever on there. They're making this stuff at home. Uh, but one of the things about it is that you can put fillers in there. You can put different things in there if you want to basically, what I'm saying, save your money on some of the product. You can put different fillers in there. None of this shit is regulated. You can put whatever you want in there, pretty much, and it's not regulated at all. And no one's testing it. So when you do these things and you buy from these companies, and they can't explain to you their process, they can't guarantee you this or that or the other, it would explain some of the horrible reactions that we've seen happen in the American bully community. Now, with those things, when you put those things inside of our bodies or animals' body, these fillers and these things that might not have been made to be inside of our bodies or our dogs' bodies or whatever, they have to get filtered through the kidneys, and they have to get filtered through the liver. You know, there are quite a few more dogs now who are dying from liver cancer, who are dying from failure of the kidneys and different things of that nature. And I don't think it's a coincidence that as the pet market and the supplementation market has gotten bigger and bigger and more competitive over the years, that we are actually now seeing more dogs' lifespans cut short by different cancers and different issues of failure of organs. Like I say, one of the reasons being is anytime you have a company, you're trying to be competitive. In order to be competitive, most of these companies are going to cut corners. By them cutting corners and you believing in your product, you are going to be the one who carries the weight of them cutting those corners. Be very, very careful. This is why I tell you, good dog foods, natural supplementation, like, hey, if you want to do it that bad, if you want to add natural weight onto your dog, man, look, go buy you a meat grinder. They're nice meat grinders. I found one that was $250 on eBay. That motherfucker grind me. If I put me in there, it'll grind me up. But when I want to be a little bit jazzy with it, what I'll do is I'll get my carrots. I'll get whatever, I like to put cabbage through there, or whatever. I can go buy me a brisket. I'll put the whole, chop the brisket up, put the brisket through there, put the carrots in there with it. You know what I mean? Put it all together. If I want to add some brewer's yeast, I'll put some brewer's yeast in there, more natural type supplements, things that can help them. If I want to put me some wheat germ oil in there, sometime I'll put the wheat germ oil in there, and I'll just put it through the grinder. You can do chicken. Some of y'all like to do pork. Leave that pork alone. Stop messing with that swine. But but you can put it through there, and that's more natural, man. And it's something that what your dog is getting. What your dog is getting. You can even put apples in there. Dogs, for whatever, my dogs like apples. I don't know why, but they'll eat the apples, and you can put that in there with the meat. They're not as discretionary eaters as we are. That we wouldn't eat apples with hamburger. They'll eat it. But this is an easier way, and you'll find out that the price in the long run is not nearly as bad, especially if you're doing a lot of chicken and like chicken and vegetables and stuff. It's not nearly as bad as spending, top dollar on some of these products, but you know what's going into it. I know a lot of y'all, and I'm not cutting anybody short, but I know a lot of y'all love your dogs, man, and y'all should care about what's going into your dogs' bodies. Now, going back to when you buy these dogs and the things that the people do to these dogs. And I hate this, I'm telling y'all. I really freaking hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And the reason why I keep saying this is because this would have been a great discussion if this stupid ass thing was working. YouTube, I guess YouTube is like Facebook. Facebook is having issues right now because our pages are weird. We can't make changes on the pages and all that stuff. So, but I'm looking right now to find this gentleman's name. And I'm going to tell y'all his story because it's pretty simple. I mean, it's not simple, but it's pretty amazing. And as it comes up, as his name comes up, I'll tell y'all this. This is something that it blew my mind back. This dude's name is Adam Ricks, right? And what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to save some of his videos, and it's pretty crazy. I'll tell you that much. And I'll probably have to repost them. And I get a lot of these videos, right? And when I get these videos, typically I'll just be like, you know what? I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go. But this gentleman, comes from a country where they don't bullshit about their dogs. So, of course, he bought a dog. And the first thing he said to me, he said, "Hey, man," he messaged me. He messaged me laughing back in August and said, "Is this show quality?" And he just was laughing like, "What the fuck?" And then he said, "Hey, man, if you the dude who exposed his muscle tone for all that bullshit," and he said, "I wish I had seen your video before." So in this chart, and this is a chart. He's the one that told me to post it because he said he feels like at this point in time, he said it's not a thing about business. It's a thing about the way that this guy continues to send out dogs in horrible condition and is encouraging people to breed these dogs. Y'all make sure y'all hit like and subscribe to this page. I'm gonna keep telling y'all this. Y'all make sure y'all hit like and subscribe to this page. And the dude's name is Adam. Hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all again. I don't want to mess up the man's name. Adam Rix, Rix. But he said he don't have no problem with y'all letting him, y'all hollering at him. And he actually sent me the the information, you know what I'm saying, of what this dog was when he got it. Now, the reason that the dog that Bashar sent him, and this is from earlier this year, it looks like. But the reason he went there, you know what I'm saying, this looks like this is from March. The dog went in for a painful abdomen, but the dog couldn't defecate, and it was all kind of issues. The dog had coccidia. The dog had giardia. The dog was having a lot of stomach issues, and this is the way the dog was sent. Had bloody discharge, you know what I mean, from the vulva. Now, during the examination, you know what I mean, the doctor also said that the dog swings his limbs laterally as opposed to bending the bending them. He said the dogs there's no movement in the hocks bilaterally. You know what I'm saying? It goes on, man. The dog has issues with the eyes, issues with the ears, has an NAD on the respiratory. I'm gonna post it because it just goes on and on. A moderate grade systolic cardiac murmur on both sides of the chest. You know what I'm saying? Loudest on the left side. I mean, I could keep reading. This is one dog. This is one dog that this man sent. You know what I mean? One dog. Now, keep in mind, this is at the end of his assessment. It's abdominal pain and spinal pain is what he came up with at the end. I mean, it goes on. I could read. I hate to read off this thing the whole time. Y'all didn't come here for me reading. But this is all off of one dog. So then, you know what I'm saying? He said, he goes on to tell me, and he said, bro, you can post our conversation. I don't care. He was like, from what he did to me and my partners, it's actually absolutely ridiculous. They're in England, by the way. Well, he said his partner is over in England. He said that his partner had the same type of issue. You know what I mean? They sent them fake medical papers to get the dogs into the country. You know what I'm saying? So he said, I know these papers weren't real because the dog passed all medical. According to the paperwork that he sent in, he said, and our vets are basically telling us to put these dogs down. His partner had did the same thing, and spent $25,000. I've never heard of this, and I actually had to call a veterinary friend of mine to ask about this. And like I say, I won't go off of that whole entire thing, but I will post for y'all the examination record that he said that he got from this dog from Bashar. And I know y'all be like, oh, you always hating on Bashar. This is like the 20th message where somebody told me to speak about it on this show. So I spoke about it. His friend had spent 25 grand, right? And I guess they were buying the dogs at the same time, and this is outside of them paying for the shipping. Now, after he complained about the one dog, he sent the replacement. Bashar sent the replacement dog because dude was raising hell about the fucked up dog. The replacement dog basically was the same thing. It flunked the test. The dog couldn't move right. It was issues with the limbs, issues with the spine, another cardiac issue, another heart murmur. But his friend's dog is even more interesting. And this is where I had to call. He had a level 5. Their doctor said he had a level 5 heart murmur. I never even heard of a dog having a level 5 heart murmur. But his veterinarian said that the heart murmur was so terrible, he didn't even have to put the stethoscope to the dog's chest. He said upon examination with his hands, a physical examination, and looking at the dog and looking at the way the dog's, I guess he was looking at arteries or whatever, he said you could see the murmur. I've never heard of this shit before. But the situation was so bad that you could literally, the dog was dying. The dog's heart condition was so bad that the dog was going to have serious issues living past tomorrow. These are dogs that were sent to Europe. I've told y'all about instances where I've heard of dogs, that died within months. It was another individual that said he had dogs that he got there. He paid the $10,000 for a puppy. He got the puppy. The puppy had pneumonia. He said Bashar was very, very good. Jumped up, sent him another dog. This dog had pneumonia again. You know what I mean? So he said Bashar once again sent him a dog. The third dog had pneumonia. I'm lying. The first dog had a serious heart issue, and Bashar replaced it with two dogs back to back that had pneumonia, amongst other issues with breathing and this and that and the other. I'm trying to tell y'all these things, not because I hate Bashar. I could care less. Bashar is Bashar. He's been Bashar for a long time, like many others have. When you sell a dog that is dying, when you falsify medical paperwork, very, very, very high level dogs, and you sell these dogs to people and they're dying. What does that say? What does that say about your kennel? What does that say about your ethics as a breeder? But we've already heard the man say that he doesn't care about the breed if it doesn't make him money. He doesn't care about dogs if it doesn't make him money. But you know what I mean? But to hear these things, and I hope nothing happens, the guy is very upset, understandably. That's a decent amount of money. As the guy said, he said, I don't even need money. He said, that's not my problem. He said, it's just what kind of human being would be producing these type of dogs sick and bad like this and promoting himself as one of the greatest breeders of all time and taking people and giving them health issues. You know, and trust me, like I said, I've passed on these topics a million times. But the reason why I'm saying this now, and I wish I could see y'all comments because I'm guaranteeing you somebody's calling me a hater. But but the reason why I tell y'all this is bottom line, man. This is destroying our community because it starts at the top with the guy, who drives the Lambo and shows off his Mercedes and all of these different things and promotes a lifestyle. That's why you will never see me promote a great lifestyle off of selling dogs. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't, but I would never promote it. Even if I made $2 million a year, I would never promote it because it brings in the wrong element. And this is something, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna post that right afterwards. I will post, so y'all don't think I'm lying, so y'all don't think I'm hating. This man literally contacted me all the way from England, and is complaining about several dogs that they have gotten that have been in absolutely horrid conditions. I posted the videos to show y'all the conditioning of this man's kennel. A lady who worked in his kennel complained about dogs dying inside the kennel, him wanting to throw them in the trash cans, coccidia, all the different issues with mucus and blood all over the floor, dogs sitting in these things. It's animal abuse. It's not about hating. It's not about, look, the people who will buy a dog from these people, and I'm not just saying whether it's Muscle Tone or any of the other ones, they'll never buy a dog from me. So it's no need to hate. I don't have their style of dog. Those people want extreme dogs, very big, overdone, muscular dogs. They don't care about conformation and those type of things. I would never sell them a dog. They would never, in their wildest dreams, they would never want a dog from me because I don't have what they want. So it wouldn't even be a reason for me to hate. This is for a community that I love. And, a lot of y'all that I got mad love for and I respect y'all, don't fall into these traps. Do not fall into these traps. This community, just like I told y'all with the supplementation, and this is the second hour, so we're all for the supplementation, but this community has been broke down and destroyed by people who are willing to cheat the game in an incredible way. I'm not talking about, oh, you doing bad business. You're literally making an attack on the breed. You're literally making a strong attack against the breed. You're shooting the dog with steroids. We know this. This is very, very factual. We know this. The dogs were shot up with steroids. The dogs were having issues because of the steroids. There were DNA tests that were falling apart because of the steroids. Then you come back and the dogs are just being kept in horrid conditions, no matter what kind of money you're making. Then you're sending these dogs out around the world, and this is what we're getting, man. This is y'all think I was being stupid, or y'all like, oh man, you hating because you ain't getting. Look, I've got people around the world too who want my dogs. I have a gentleman right now that I have waiting in England that the reason he didn't get his dog is I was not satisfied with the medical information on the puppy, so I decided to make the puppy a pet home, and he'll get a dog from a better breeding, a top quality dog. I'm not sending him a bullshit dog. And that's facts. Right now, I have a guy. I won't say his name on here, but I have a guy right now who's waiting on a dog. You guys, we owe it to our community. We owe it to the breed. We owe it to everything to start doing shit the right way. Stop trying to cheat and cut corners at every way, or you're going to destroy the breed. The supplementations are like a first step where we over supplement the dogs to put all this extra weight on. That's the first step to bullshit in the game. The next step, of course, the higher step is steroids. Of course, we know that you see bodybuilders on stage with their little thongs on and everything. Shout out to all my bodybuilders. Y'all know y'all be wearing them thongs. They gotta wear the thongs. They trying to show they ripped butt cheeks. But but they up there and they flexing and they doing their thing. And trust me, it takes a ton of hard work to be a bodybuilder. But now, just about now, every bodybuilder will tell you, of course, we take steroids. You got to take steroids to carry this type of mass and to look like this at a high level. You got to take something. You know what I mean? So do you think that their kids are going to pop out and look just like them? Hell no. Unless they start training and doing the same thing that their fathers or their mothers did. Well, in the American bully world, it's the same thing. You guys go and click on a picture and be like, oh man, look at a Nissan. I'm just saying that because it's a Nissan parked over here. But look at Nissan. He's huge, man. Big ass neck, big chest. Nissan is the shit. All right, $10,000 or $5,000. It don't matter what you pay for a Nissan stud. Nissan is going to produce you a Toyota because Nissan ain't what he say he is. That's a bunch of fluffage. Now, the highest level is what I just brought to y'all, where the brother, what's his name, Adam, sent me, is that when you know that a dog is genetically and health-wise destroyed, but you are so greedy that you are willing to falsify paperwork. And I'm telling you this is not me saying this. Just like when I put them videos out there, that was not me saying this. That was somebody inside this man's kennel showing you how disgusting the kennel was. That was something inside this man's kennel where they were showing you the conditions and showing you dead dogs in cages and everything. And people in this community still applaud him and act as like he's something cool in this community. Then you have multiple people, and I could do a whole show if I wanted to go Maury Povich and just bash a guy, but y'all my people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you, as my people, don't put that bullshit into your dogs. You do not know what you're getting. More than likely, you are getting the same health issues that derived from, if y'all don't know what muscle tone bullies was derived from originally, it was derived from a combination of my dog Denzel, Dax, and several other bulldogs that he mixed in. Let's just be flat out. It was a guy named Jimmy, Detroit Jimmy, that went up there and showed the dogs that he had. Jimmy used to work with him. Jimmy had pictures with the guy. He was showing the different dogs and text messages of the dogs that they mixed in, and it was very apparent that this is something they were doing. This is what they were doing. So, you know what you're getting, but then to top it all off and to take it to the next level, now we're going to falsify. And if y'all think I'm lying, and God bless my brother, John Easterly. I just want to say that right now because John said some of these things, but I got some bad news on John last night. So y'all say some prayers for John. I'm going to reach out to John today and see how he doing. But John ain't doing too well right now. So shout out to my brother, longtime guy. Big part of why the American bully community is what it is. The original ABKC judge. One of the writers of the Standard. Like I say, man, if y'all don't know who John Easterly is, say a prayer for him, man. Anyway, because the guy, if you love bullies, he's one of the reasons. John did a lot of the leg work for the American bully. He was the original judge. John has, and I'm gonna get back to the conversation, but it just clicked on my mind. John is a pit bull advocate. John has spoken in front of, different city councils. He's talked to congressmen. He's fought the fight, And John is overall a good dude, man. John crazy as hell, but he's overall a good dude, and he's done a lot of great work, in this community. And it wouldn't be a community without John. And I hope and pray that my brother is doing well, man. I got that information last night. It sort of was bothering me, man. It's sort of bothering me because I don't know. I just hope he all right, man. I hope my guy is all right and he pulled through and everything, So y'all send, I ain't gonna say too much, but y'all send some prayers for my OG. Like I told y'all, if you some of y'all have had the pleasure of meeting John. Some of y'all remember when he used to do the videos and stuff like that. And man, he's an authentic dude. He crazy as hell, But he really loves this breed, and he did a lot for this breed. Before we could fly shit out, John was the dude who'd be like, "All right, you know what I'm saying? You got dogs over here, you got dogs over there, you got the stage, you got this." John would literally damn near drive half the country to make sure that everything and all the popular dogs got to the show. Um, when it was time to when it was time to start the ABKC, John sat down and he organized everything as far as the standards and everything like that. It was a few contributors, of course, but John was the main one who really cared about getting the standard done correctly. He was the judge who actually awarded Hallie her the first ever American Bully Championship. So like I say, I don't know the exact part of the situation, but the information I got is that my brother needs some prayer. So y'all say a prayer for old John, man, and I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to him shortly and making sure that everything is gonna be all right. But this is life. But with that being said, John was one of the biggest, and I guess this is why this all works for me because John was one of the biggest advocates at fighting muscle tone bullies, and not because like I say, it was never personal with Bashar. Look, if me and Bashar is in a room and all of that shit, yeah, I don't care about nothing with the dogs, but it's not personal, I don't want to break your jaw. I don't want to do all this shit. It's not personal. But this is a breed that we loved, we fought for, we invested in, we basically, culminated it to be what it is today and known around the world. And the crew of us who did it, that's why none of us too much get along with Bashar outside of Dave, who Bashar pays, is because we love the breed and we wanted to see it become something bigger. And what his influence, and it's not him by himself because Dave has helped him. The gentleman who sent me the messages basically said the reason why that they went to Bashar and they believed in Bashar is because the ABKC promotes him and allows him to be in the ring. So they saw him all around there, with the biggest registry in the world. And they're all the way in Europe and they're looking at this like, okay, this dude is legit, man. He's with the big registry. He's friends with Dave Wilson, this, that, and the other. And that built a trust in them. That built a trust in them to send him 35 grand. And basically they got unhealthy dogs, super unhealthy dogs, problem dogs. And it's something that we've seen go on and on and on and on. And the reason why a lot of times I talk about Bashar and I talk about Dax and I talk about maybe Rocco and I talk about a few of the other individuals more than other people is because they are the front runners. They are the people who have made this thing okay to destroy a community and get paid high prices for it. They've made it okay to do this, and it's unfortunate. And I always feel bad when people call me, and it's not that like that gentleman said there. He said, "Brother, if I can throw out 10,000 for a puppy, I'm not crying about money. But why would you do this to a dog?" That's real shit. Like he said 10 grand, whatever. basically. 10 grand, whatever. But why would you do this to a dog? Why would you send me this and really tell me to go and take this unhealthy dog and breed it again? Why would you do this? This is what we're facing as a community. This is why I push confirmation. This is why I push doing things the right way. Look, I can tell y'all, I have a supplement company coming up. My supplement company is more based on the lines of health. You know what I mean? Not gaining weight, but health. You know, a lot of aminos and omegas and things that will make the heart and the kidneys function better. I'm even working with a lady who's all into all the natural stuff to come up with a nice blend that will be a detox for our dogs, that we can give our dogs certain treats and it'll flush their systems out and and keep them clean keep clean. We're gonna have a little monthly detox that we working on. Things for health. I do this because I have a passion for the dogs. I have a passion and a love for these dogs, man. You know, as y'all see right now, damn kids tell me they want another Doberman. We getting another Doberman. You know what I'm saying? Want a dogo. We getting a dogo. You know, go through all the shit to train the dogs. Got a million dogs. You know, whew, my weekly to feed my dogs is about $500. Imagine that. You know what I mean? But it's a love and it's a passion, you know what I'm saying, to have these dogs and to love these dogs and to do it the right way. So when I tell you all these things about steroid abuse, when I tell you all about this too many supplements, when I tell you about the lies on the pedigrees, when I tell you about health testing your dogs to make sure that just like that gentleman did, that your dog doesn't have issues with its joints, that your dog doesn't have issues with its heart or its lungs or spinal issues. This is something to better the breed. It's not about you personally. This is never personal. You know, this is not a personal thing. Like I said, I've been places and I've been at points in my life where things got personal. This is not personal. You know what I mean? I don't want to whoop anybody's ass. I'm not pulling a pistol on anybody. You know, those days are over with. This is about sustaining the good that we have in this breed and pushing it forward. You know, that there is just a ugly situation that I went into, and it's funny. I was going to go further and further into it, but I don't even want to go further and further into it because, at the end of the day, you know, where does it lead us to? Y'all have heard me cuss, bitch, rant, and act a damn fool about this guy Bashar for a long time, and people still go and they still buy the dogs, and they're spreading these dogs more and more throughout the world. They're spreading them more and more throughout the community. I see you people. Perfect time. I see you people who come on this page and y'all tell me things about, oh, that's the cleanest this, that's the cleanest that, that's the clean, oh, this clean, clean. Y'all don't know what the fuck clean means. Because I see very, very few clean dogs. Y'all get to talking about the cleanest exotic. You know what I mean? And that's the cleanest exotic. But I'm gonna tell you something about that. A lot of times y'all tell me it's a clean exotic, and then I look at the dog and I immediately look, he has a high rear. Look, his feet are splayed. Look, he's sitting back on his hocks. But that's clean. The only reason why it's clean is because he's not a total fucking teenage mutant ninja turtle that's running around with his little half shell and master splinter and out here whooping people's ass. That's the only reason why he ain't clean. I mean that he's cleaner than the rest. Y'all need to stop that shit, man. You know, y'all need to stop it. You know, y'all can stop putting them little ugly ass dogs up on that carpet and talking about clean. This is a health issue. You know, this is a health issue. Over the years, I have no problem telling y'all that I've put down a lot of dogs. I ain't gonna say a lot, but I put down a few dogs for health issues. I put down dogs, you know what I mean, for temperament issues. Just like that. Never had a problem with it. If a dog had a bad temperament, put him down. The reason being is because I'm here for the breed and I'm here for the safety of the people who get the dogs. This is something that we have to get more and more attuned to. And damn it, I wish I could see y'all messages. But you know, I'm just gonna talk. I have the ability to run my mouth, so I'm gonna run my mouth. But the more and more, and I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Please hit the like, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If y'all don't mind, y'all can share it to a page or whatever. Let them boo me and talk shit about me, whatever they want to do. It don't matter. But you know, if y'all want to make a small donation, it's tbkcdogs at pay. That's at what is it? Damn. I always forget Cash App. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, this show is going to get better. I want to get more and more people on here, but it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the same thing where we driving the point home that we need better dogs. We need better dog people. We need to push this thing forward. As I told y'all, my homie Nick Pike, we going to get down. Um, now that I'm thinking about people, my guy, Tyler Malone, at Keep It Bully. He started a platform. Y'all should try to look on his page at Keep It Bully, where it's just straight dog talk. I'm gonna get my time to get over there and start some topics, but it's more straight dog talk, less bullshit than what you would get on Facebook and all that other stuff. But we have to dig deep. You know what I'm saying? We have to dig deep into the American bully world and American bully psyche. We have to get back. Many of y'all have asked me, and this is something I didn't plan on talking about, but I'll talk about it just because I don't want to keep on going on negative shit with the trash breeders. When we start talking about like what to be expected, a lot of y'all have asked about being a judge. This is something that I talk about in the mentorship program. If any of you guys want to join the mentorship program, uh, email me at tbkcdogs at gmail or 727-744-0963. I'm trying to catch up. That's all I can tell y'all. But and I'll tell you, about our programs, about being a judge and everything else as we finish up this. But the one thing that one of the reasons why I'm not looking for a bunch of previously used judges, and we will have some judges from other breeds. We will have. I already have 2 Rottweiler judges. I have 1 Cocker Spaniel judge. It's always funny because we don't have a Cocker Spaniel, but she's so intelligent, and once you meet her, you'll see why I did that. She can judge any dogs. By the way, she's an all breed judge. But one of the things, if any of you aspire to be a judge, the first thing you're just going to need to be is honest. You have to be honest, and you have to take this with a badge of integrity. One of the things that we're going to do that's going to be fun, that we haven't seen any other registries really do much of, is we're going to have Judge of the Year. Judge of the Year will basically be sometimes we're trying to figure that out. We're going to contribute as far as the people who are behind the scenes with the TBKC, but we're also going to allow the people to vote. So we're going to figure out something to where we put in a vote to who y'all think, judges judges the best. And we'll find the criteria. We believe that our judges should have a portfolio of their winners. And sometimes visually that helps out. And the reason I say that is, say, for instance, and Tyler has said nothing about being a judge, but I'm just using Tyler as an example. If Tyler was one of our judges, right? And you go to the page where you can vote for best judge of the year. We would like to show a portfolio of all of his winners. So even if it ends up being 50 dogs, you can click through Tyler's page and be like, oh, he picked that dog, he picked that dog, he picked that dog again, he picked that dog, he picked that dog. But do you see a consistency? And as you go through the things, and we're going to do these things to where we're publicly teaching some of the things that a judge should be looking for. Like the 90-degree angle in the back of the dog, how the dog's legs are supposed to set, the top line, how the teeth are actually supposed to be, the eye set, the eye shape, the way that the dog is supposed to be standing on his front paws, the way that the back paws are supposed to look, the ear set, what I'm saying, jaw line, the width of the muzzle, lack of width of the muzzle, all of these different little things that the judges prefer. And we want to give you more of an introspective look. But if you looked at Tyler's page and you see that, damn, this dude always picks these great ass dogs. His dogs is off the hook, that he picks. It would be great to see it publicly, because at that time, we're not making it to where you can bash our judges, but you'll notice something about certain judges where, like, this dude is consistent as fuck. Look at what he picks. Excuse my language. But, or let's just say Amy. We'll just pick a name, Amy. If Amy is judging and you look on her page and you're like, you know what, she's solid, but why did she pick that dog? That dog is terrible. That would be a reason for you not to give her a vote. But we want to hold our judges accountable. Now, for those of you who want to be judges, you have to learn this standard. Of course, you have to learn the anatomy of the dog. Inside the standard, some of the things that you have to learn, and something that has not been enforced well in the American Bully community is the characteristics. And what I mean by the characteristics is quite simply, how is this dog supposed to act? You know, as I've told y'all about like Westminster shows, y'all know I love that dude's voice. I wish I could get him to do a show when we get to the big time. But the guy comes out there with that voice, and this is the such and such terrier. He hails from Ireland, and he does this and he does that. A joyful expression. He bounces. He does this. He does that. And then I love when the dude talk, man. I'm like, tell him that shit, dude. Talk that shit. but but those are key aspects. We often look at just the dog, right? But certain dogs and certain breeds are supposed to look sad. They describe them as lumbering. So the dog just sort of, that's the way his gait is supposed to be. Whereas certain dogs, you don't take off points because the dog comes out like just bouncing. Certain, I know, especially with a lot of the toy breeds, they're hyper breeds, so they sort of bounce when they gait, and they're very, very active and they're very, very lively. These are things that you have to know as a judge, because keep in mind in the TBKC, the one thing that we are doing, and we will be having shows this year. I promise y'all that. All of my work is being done. All of my firing is done. My new crew is here. Yes. I wanted to make an announcement about paperwork today, but it looks like I might have to wait a couple more days. But that y'all notice, if you go to tbkc dogs, that page will be active very soon. It will be a link for you to start doing your registrations. And we already have everybody set to start doing their job. Thank God. But the one thing about it is that we have that open class. And for you, those of you who are new to this and have never heard of it, I'll explain what the open class is. If you're used to these bullies, you notice that bullies will have bully shows, and they'll have all the bully classes, which in our registry they're breeds. And you'll have the bulldogs. You'll have the generally it's the different bulldog breeds at an American Bully show, and that'll be it. Well, we have a particular class that's called the open class. The open class is because we have over 30 breeds. We have the Dogo, we have the Doberman, we have the Belgium, we have the German Shepherd, because we promote a lot of working dogs, and we're eventually moving into a lot of different working classes, including weight pool and those different things. Well, what it allows is, say for instance, you've got a year-old German Shepherd, and you're like, damn, I want to go to this American Bully show, but I'm not going to be able to show him. Yes, you will. Your 6-month-old, I mean a year-old German Shepherd, if there's a year-old Rottweiler there, if there's a year-old whatever, Dogo there, if there's a Bordeaux there or whatever, they will be in the same class. It's basically judged like a best in show. This is why our judges have to be knowledgeable, because if you're judging the open class, I need you to understand what the characteristics are of the Bordeaux. I need you to understand the characteristics of the German Shepherd, the standard, what it's supposed to look like. And now you're not judging those dogs against each other. You're judging them against the standard. So who fits their standard better? So as you sit there as a judge and you're like, the German Shepherd fits pretty good. The Rottweiler's pretty good, but damn, that Dogo is perfect for that standard. The Dogo wins. The Dogo goes on to the next, level to face the next dog from whatever class was in that open class. Eventually, those dogs go against the American Bullies in those same age groups, and we promote healthy competition for all of these dogs. So some of y'all, I know some of my friends got beautiful Rotties at home, and y'all rating the register. Lord knows, I thank y'all for y'all support. I didn't want to take anybody's money until we were ready. I did the right things. We're ready. But with that being said, you know what I mean? This class is going to take the American Bully to the next level, the open class, because now you have to stare down Dobermans. Now you have to stare down Belgium sometimes. Now you have to stare down a lot of beautiful dogs that you wouldn't have had to go against, that people are serious about. It's no more, let's drop the level way down because American Bullies are always screwed up, so we'll find the best out of the screwed up dogs. No, we are going to go to a top level thing, to even where, I'm not lying to y'all, I've been in people's inboxes and I've recruited some people that I know that show very, very high level at the AKC. When I say very, very high level, I have 2 people who've competed at Westminster who are willing to bring their dogs just for exhibitions, just for exhibition purposes, and show against us. So this is what I'm promoting. I'm not promoting who makes the most money. Fuck that. I'm promoting, can we push our breed, which is the American Bully, to match the other breeds that I love, and I love a lot of these breeds, you know what I mean? Can we push them to meet their level? The only way that we can push these dogs to meet those other dogs' level is to go head to head. It's been 20 years and we have dogs with long ass backs winning nationals. That will not happen here. I look forward to. I have a lot of younger people. I've had a lot of people who, when I say younger, I'm just meaning younger in the breed. Because some of the people are, 60 years old. Some of the people are 65. You know what I mean? But they are serious about this dog thing. They want to learn. My good friend Skip Miller is over 30 plus years into the game. He's great with confirmation. I have a couple other people who are great with confirmation who be coming from the AKC and the UKC world. We're going to train the hell out of our judges, and we are trying to win. And when I say we are trying to win, we're trying to win as a breed, and we're trying to win as a community to push forward good, healthy dogs. You know, I've told y'all we are going to promote breeders who do health testing. DNA testing is a must to breed the dog. But breeders who do health testing, we are finding bigger and better ways to promote them. We are already designing the thing to have the Breeders Plus program or the certified program. We're still arguing about that name. But it's a program where the breeder is basically committing to doing everything possible to let not only their buyers, if they are selling anything, but just their program in general, be known that, hey, we health test to the max. All of our dogs are DNA tested. You are getting a 100% top-notch quality show dog. If this is not a show dog, we have our requirements that this is a pet and it will be spayed or it will be neutered because we will not mess up our breed. We are going to promote that program. And when I say we are going to promote it, we are going to do commercials with these people. We want to go out to their yards. We want to videotape with these people. We do have good sponsors now. A lot of the work that I did behind the scenes, y'all know my issues and my trouble, but a lot of my sponsors just stuck in there with me and be like, we believe in what you believe in. Let us know when you're ready. So there will be funds to do these things. But we want to promote good breeders. We want to promote good breeding ethics. We want to promote making our breed healthier, not bullier. Trust me, King Kamali all those years ago was bully enough. Now, when you make a dog like Pokemon who's a little bit bullier, nice. You know what I mean? Hallie was more than bullier enough. These was years ago. So we've always been bully enough to where we didn't have to destroy our breed. We didn't have to destroy our health by trying to push to some extreme that's really, really ridiculous. And it's not realistic. I've told y'all this previously, and any of y'all who are bodybuilding fans, the bodybuilding world has been shook up over the last year because so many great bodybuilders are passing early. This is not something, and I'm a bodybuilding fan, you know what I mean? But it's one of the reasons why, if y'all see me now, I might still look as big, but I'm a lot leaner. I'm not carrying as much fat. But that's one of the reasons why my goal is to go from 240 pounds, which I was at, and I still had a six pack, you know what I mean, and all that stuff that y'all, that most people consider to make you athletically fit. I could run for an hour, no problem, and all of that. But for my health, as I kick it off into my 40s, I want to go down to about, if I can get there, 215. I'll be ripped. I'll be cut up from the butt up. But most importantly, I'll feel good. This is what I want for our dogs. I want more ripped dogs. I want more great angulation dogs. I want more great conformation dogs. I want more great temperament dogs. This is the future of the breed. The era that we live in right now is a terrible era of dogs. Who would take their dogs to anywhere and say, guess what? We're going to bring in some dogs, but most of them got high rears. They got some spinal issues. Our breed is known for having heart murmurs, bad feet, this, that, and the other. Oh yeah, we can't guarantee the temperament on the dogs. Who are your heroes in the dogs? All the heroes in the dogs all died young, and they're screwed up too. And well, what does his dog do? Well, we put them on a piece of grass and we stack them on the table and we hope they don't die. Why can't your dog put his tongue in the mouth? I don't know. Why is your dog passing out at the show? Why did y'all bring the dog in the wagon? Why is this? Why is that? That is making our community look terrible. We look very, very terrible. We want to change these things. And the reason why I know, that people tune into these videos, that people listen to my big mouth, is the people who come here, the grand majority. We always got them people who want to talk shit. I like them too, though. I love y'all, man. Y'all keep me going. But y'all care about dogs. y'all care about dogs, y'all care about this community, and it's really the reason why on a Friday morning, this is actually like the off morning. My week ends at Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So like my Thursday, my Friday, and Saturday is the days where I usually could sleep in. But I love getting up and I love talking to y'all and I love, spreading whatever information that I can get. And I hope to get better at this is because, you know what I mean? Y'all love to breed, you know. Some of y'all, some of y'all sent me messages. Y'all better not make no like Michael Jordan with the crying meme face. They was like, dog, you get so wound up and you get emotional. I'm an emotional person, and hey man, hey, that's just me. I was that strong safety that you would see tears streaming down my face in the middle of the game, but you knew one damn thing. If them tears were streaming, I'm gonna come up that bitch and raise hell. Somebody about to get blew up. The play about to get blew up. You know what I mean? And I feel the same way about the dogs because I have a genuine perspective to see from the inside, like not many was there when we was talking about the American bully and the plans for the American bully when we started calling the pocket to pocket, and the XL name was brought into play, and you know what I mean. All these different things, even the classic name was brought into play. I seen that, you know what I mean. I was a part of that. I was dishing out way too much money to help that, flying all over, seeing something that I thought was special, and I just haven't let go of that dream. You know, I still see y'all and I feel y'all. I love seeing pictures of people with nice dogs and posing with their dogs. I love to see people with the pictures of their dogs at the beach. That was just, it might not mean much to a lot of people, but that was just my thing. In my life, I fell in love with the American Bully amongst a couple other dogs, but this was the one that I had the ability to truly make a change in. And now that I feel like my health and my life is getting back to where I need it to be, I'm gonna make the hardest push possible just to make something, and then get the right people in the place to continue it before I fade off into the sunset and just watch y'all do y'all thing. Not to say I won't be breeding, but knowing me, I would rather jump this thing off, put all the right people in place who are better people than me, and watch it grow in a fruitful way than instead of trying to have my hands on everything and be in charge. I just want to come out to shows and kick it and laugh with y'all and do that and not even be in charge of anything that deals with the TBKC. I'll let those people run it, and you know what I'm saying, every now and then go to a meeting and discuss things with them, but just keep an eye out to make sure that we always are putting the health and the promotion of this breed as our number one thing, and also creating resources, which my good friend Nick Pike, he introduced me to a lovely veterinarian who has no problems, and I got to reach back out to her. It's been a while, but she has no problems with educating. I know a couple veterinarians who have no problems with educating themselves about different things to help this community, be a better community. Y'all are investing a lot of money, you're investing a lot of time, and if you're like me, you invest a lot of emotions. You love this shit. You know what I mean? Most of us wake up and feed the dogs before we feed the kids. Not to say the kids are less important. It's just that's typically the way it goes. You wake up and grab that damn bowl and get the dog ready, let the dog out. Then you wake up to kids. Like, let me get y'all together. I got, and then that's just the way it is. It's all love in the house. So if we're going to carry that much emotion and that much love and spend this much money and spend this much time, don't y'all think we should do it right? It's not that hard. It's getting better to do health testing. If you see something and you educate your mind enough that you see something is wrong with your dog, you do the right thing. Don't reproduce that thing to give that problem to somebody else. You know, work together. Let's make a better breed overall. And that should be our ultimate goal. You know, that should be our ultimate goal. It once was a time where that's all everybody cared about. Nowadays, it's gotten to the point to where, and like I say, I don't have a problem saying that Bashar is a problem. He's a huge problem. Like I've told y'all, when you have a man that'll go in front of a camera and openly say, you know what, I don't give a fuck about these dogs. If it was no money, and he did it, if it was no money, I wouldn't care. That attitude, and him being the leader of that attitude in our community has destroyed this breed. This is why y'all see so many unhealthy dogs. This is why we've turned to an attitude with people who I want it now. I'm trying to hurry up and do a breeding. I'm trying to make some money right now. I need to do this. I need to do that. I can't wait for a dog. Do you got any puppies on the ground right now? And not do you have the puppy on the ground, but do you have anything on the ground? Do you have any older bitches I'm trying to breed right now? This mentality has been started by those type of people who don't understand the process, who don't understand the quality process. You know, that's it. Like my grandpa always told me, he said, it's going to be some ladies that'll give it to you the first night. He said, but I guarantee you, those ain't your wife. And that's it. Everything that's fast to microwave society is not something that's working for us. Everybody wanting to be rich fast, everybody wanting to be popular fast, everybody not wanting to put in the work to make something great, that's not going to work. You know, I like to see, I seen my man at Carter's Bully pop up earlier. I like what him and his lady got going on, where they taking their time and they putting things together. I love what my good friend Nick Pike and Tyler Malone is putting together. I told y'all my man Bobo Starsky out there at Imperial out there in Chicago. You know, I'm about to make a joke, but I ain't gonna say nothing. you know, but it's a lot of great, it's a lot of great, people, and I just shout out them because I talk to them a lot. But it's a lot of great people. My man Oscar Gomez down there, WBA. These guys care about the breed. These guys care about the breed, and they're trying to push something forward. And I hope that y'all can take as much educational stuff from everybody that comes in. And that's why it's going to be more important. And I don't want y'all to leave the page or anything like that, but y'all going to hear me talk more and have probably like maybe 20-minute videos, 25-minute videos where I indulge some into my Rottweiler side. We get to talk more about the origins and the attitudes and everything of like the Tibetan Mastiff, the Belgium, because even with the Belgium, it's getting popular, and the Belgium is it's scary. And the reason why I say the Belgium is scary is because the Belgium is not for everybody. Those who love the Belgium and have raised them know these dogs are super high energy, super athletic, drivey as hell. And some people get them because they think they're cool and they get them and they're just not ready. This dog needs time. This dog needs a strong hand in training and everything like that. And I don't think that the public are truly understanding. People saw him on John Wick and Halle Berry with her gorgeous. Good Lord. Halle Berry. Mm. But anyway, woo wee, good, great googly moogly. Man, I tell you what. If y'all ever wanted to see me smile, good Lord, good Lord, good Lord. When Halle Berry was in that damn movie, and she had those two Belgians with John Wick, man, you just a damn man. I said, right now, all I need to do is be right there. Right there. I could have had me a Belgium and a Hallie. I already had one Hallie, but I love that Hallie too, but this Hallie was the one. Man, that woman was so damn drop dead gorgeous and sexy in that movie. I just don't know what to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I watched her parts. I watched her parts about 4 or 5 times. I just said, look at her. Look at her. See, I appreciate beautiful things. She got great structure too. Her new movie, Bruised, I think it's on Netflix. That was a good movie. Great, great acting. She looked a little rougher in that movie. I didn't appreciate how they did, but it's all good. One day y'all gonna hear about her and Rihanna getting into a conflict about me. But but the thing of it is with certain dogs like the Belgium, some people have got this thing in their head that they want a Tibetan Mastiff. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit congested. Hopefully the kids ain't affected me. But the Tibetan Mastiff, the Caucasian Mountain Dog or Chova, the excuse me, I forget his name, but the Fila. These type of dogs are not for the faint of heart. Let's just put it that way. And some of this information needs to be dispersed. Oftentimes when we get to talking about dogs, we buy dogs because they're cute. We buy dogs because of how they look. When man, I want a big ass dog like that. Like, don't get me wrong, the Tibetan, I will have one day if the good Lord sees me to live long enough. But what has to happen for me to have a Tibetan is, for one, kids got to get older. For two, instead of an acre, I need to be over at the 30-acre place. And for three, I need a lot of time to work with him. I need a lot of time for the kids and everybody else to work with him. Well, everybody who's in the house, kids, woman, wife, whoever. We all got to work. Whoever, the maid, everybody. Because the thing about a Tibetan and some of these other breeds, I have experience with the Fila. Excuse me. They are not to be trifled with. Y'all know that's my word. But the Tibetan is not easy to deal with at all. The Fila is basically a dog that you would put in the same class as you would the Caucasian. Where generally, I know 3 people who own Filas, and I know several trainers, and they all say the same thing. If you have not adapted that Fila to its surroundings, and when I mean that, the people. If that dog has not made friends with you by the time it's 6 months, it won't. Yeah, it just won't make friends with you. The dog don't care. And that's rough. Let me take another drink, y'all. I might need some of this other stuff. I feel like my allergies is kicking in. But yeah, the Fila will attack. The Fila is a big dog. My boy that has one back home, I don't even know if he has that dog anymore. It's been about 5-6 years. His girl pretty much just doesn't like anything. You know, like he says, when he the few people that was in his household that knew the dog was fine. But as far as him introducing the dog, and he's a great trainer. But by the time, he said 6 months old, the dogs, they won't adapt to anybody else. They're vicious guard dogs. They're cute puppies. They look good, but they're vicious guard dogs. Now, those of you that don't know about the Orchova or Kova or mountain dog, this particular dog, it's no in between with this dog. And this is why these dogs are actually on our list of breeds. But it's nothing to play with. That dog itself is nothing to play with. It gets huge. All these dogs get huge. And it's one of those dogs that will cause you a lot of bodily harm. They use those dogs over in Russia in the prisons. They use those dogs, and I mean, there's some videos of them where you see how explosive and how angry these big 200+ pound dogs are. And it's a serious accident waiting to happen. We know y'all gonna see me discuss those breeds. Of course, go more in depth with the Rottweiler, go in depth with a couple variations of the Doberman, and these are all dogs that I think we just do educational stuff on. But that, of course, our judges will have to do more. But I want our community to understand it, because where I got most of my knowledge at with dogs was not just the American Bully, but it was all dogs in general. Understanding the mindset of a dog, understanding the body language of a dog, understanding the characteristics of a dog, understanding pack mentality, and socializing the dogs and watching how they operate together. All these things have helped me become a better pet owner, have helped me become a better breeder. And I'm still working on the breeding part as I understand genetics more and more. And I got a video that'll come out later on today where I talk about what I'm doing inside my own program. People are like, why you tell all your breeding stuff publicly? It doesn't matter. The pedigrees are going to tell it anyway. You're going to see what I'm doing. But every emphasis of each breeding will tell you exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing and where it will lead me in 5-10 years. But I learned all these things from different breeders. You know, I talked to breeders in Europe. I've talked to breeders in South, Central America, veterinarians in South America, veterinarians in the U.S. It's all about learning, And now that I'm healthy, thank God, I want to give a shout out to my cousin. He know who he is for sending me great literature to read and different things of that nature. I want to just help out the community. I want to have everybody as educated as possible who are trying to be educated. And I'll do more and more legwork as I educate myself to share that with y'all. I hope that this page, like I say, the page is not monetized. I don't get paid for this. But I hope it grows just as a source that as I let more and more people into my page to share information, that it helps other people get educated about the breed, about how to handle your dog, little shit that you may or may not know, little things like get rid of your plastic dog bowls. Only reason why I say that is because recently my neighbor's dog, I kept telling him to get rid of those plastic dog bowls. And his vet did I guess you would call it a culture on his dog bowls to find out why his dog kept getting sick. And he was washing them, but they were still getting dirty. Well, anyway, his dog bowls were like bacteria infested. I told him to bleach them damn things, but he should have got stainless steel. But anyway, just the little things that can help you become a better dog owner, man. Well, we didn't win our 2 hours, and like I say, I apologize to y'all. I like to interact. I don't know why the thing cut off the messages. I'll figure it out on the next one. I'll Google some shit and figure out how to turn the messages back on. But we will be back on here next Friday. I will have the normal videos. Anyone who wants to join the mentorship program, hit me at 727-744-0963. I can set you up with the monthly payment, get out all the old videos, catch up. We can set our appointments to talk weekly, all that good stuff. Anyone who's interested in the breedings that I posted or whatever, hit me up. Hall of Fame Bullies. Same thing on the cell phone number. Hall of Fame Bullies is Facebook page. True American Bully is Instagram. tbkcdogs at gmail is the email. And man, I got to give you something to clear my head. My allergies kicking in. But like I say, it'll be some good videos on here this week. I thank y'all. Y'all make sure y'all have a good day. Y'all reach out to y'all family and friends. As I tell y'all, this time of the year is the hardest year for people who are, the hardest time of the year for people who are suffering from things like my allergies now. But with all that being said, you know, drink good, eat good, and if you're lucky enough, you do that other thing good too. And I ain't talking about smoking. Until next time, y'all. God bless y'all. Much love. Peace.